What's up, guys? We're back with another video for Daniel Song. This time around, we're doing his GR86. As you guys have seen in some of our previous videos, we've already been doing some of the easy stuff, the BBK. It was a development car for our roll cage, and we did some seat installs and a few other things. But now we're about 6 weeks away from SEMA, so we're in a big time crunch.
So like every year this time, we get really stressed out because we're getting ready for SEMA. Your team did a wonderful job kind of on phase one. We did the big brakes, we did the wheels, we did the suspension, you did the KW, Club Sports on the car, and then the roll cage along with the seats. And so now we got to prep this car for SEMA. It's going to be kind of this is out of all the 3 cars that I'm working on for SEMA this year, this is probably my hero project, meaning the most involved. So again, appreciate technical partners like you guys coming on board, because I don't think I could get it done without you guys. So the idea behind the GR86 build is sort of a time attack themed vehicle. Now, obviously we do want to unveil it at a trackside event, you know, and put it in its paces, but we definitely want to build a car that kind of resembles Super GT vehicles. And so that's been my inspiration since the get-go. I've always loved JGTC vehicles, Super GT vehicles, and said, how come there's no aero that matches that for street cars? And so we had to do a lot of interpretation and say, okay, where do we kind of find compromises, and then find the best spirit of the Super GT style, but apply it to a street car. While it's here, there's a lot of things that we need to do, right? So the first thing we're gonna do is pull out the back half cage that you guys put in earlier this year. Now we wanna do a full 6-point cage, right? And with door intrusion bars. And the main reason why is we're replacing a lot of the OE panels with carbon panels from Sayber, right? We have a full carbon trunk lid that's coming in to make way for our chassis mounted wing that's going to have a wing bridge, so we got to have that slotted. And then we have a hood as well as full carbon doors that are going in the car. That's going to be a big one, and I think that's going to be really, really helpful.
When you showed me the render of the wide body, it was kind of like a dream come true. You know, just like you're saying, like a lot of us growing up, we see these JGTC cars and we're like, oh my god, that's like, how can we do that to our cars here? But I haven't really seen one ever. So the render that he showed me a while ago was like, dude, that's exactly what I would want to do. And doing it on a GR86 is very cool.
So there were a lot of key components. Again, like I said, when the aero starts to go on, we'll go through that all, but we wanted to make sure we still kept it like a square footprint on the vehicle. So we kept it exactly, the geometry of the factory sort of settings kind of similar. I think we went out about 55 millimeters on all 4 corners. So beyond the cage, we have a new wheel, the steering wheel that's going in. The custom wheels for the wide body setup should be here. I think those touch down in the next week or so. We have polycarbonate windows to go around, right, including the race sliders. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, we have,
well, the biggest thing motorsport wise, right, which is another thing that that would check off on the bucket list of a project car, is the air jack system. That is so huge. So obviously part of like race cars, and obviously it's kind of cool to see these cars pit, and these cars come up off the ground, track side or pit side, and they have these sort of air jack systems. Now, traditional air jack systems obviously are using highly pressurized air. Besides what's in the car, you also have to have this whole system outside of the car, in the pits, a tank, a regulator, all this stuff.
Exactly. And so what was really cool is there's a company out of Sweden called Nuke Performance, and they were gracious enough to send me an air jack system. It's a sort of a 4-piece system, but it uses standard or low pressure systems, right? So any household compressor, you can even use an onboard compressor, typical to when people fill airbags in their cars. So you can use probably a couple gallon tank with just a standard compressor, 12 to 18 PSI, and you can get the car lifted on all 4 corners. So I'm really excited about that.
And so the guys here, because, you know, as you guys know, we do trackside support, and all these modified lowered cars, it's kind of hard to get a jack under there sometimes. So I told the guys what we're doing, and they're looking forward to it. So when we go to the track with this car, it'll be nice to, you know, swap tires, because even though the tires may not need to be changed, we still always swap them around, front to rear, left to right, so that way you're getting even wear. But the air jack system is something to look out for, because it is going to be something that's obviously first in the world on this car for the GR86 and the 2nd gen BRZ, but it's a generic system, right? So we're going to have to figure out the stress points on the chassis, where to place them, and then obviously still be able to jack the car up say if we don't have air, we still need to have that ability to jack it up in the traditional, conventional way. We'll show you guys more as we get some progress going on Daniel's GR86. If you haven't seen any of our other previous videos, please hop over to YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button, follow us on Instagram @StudioRSR, and we'll see you guys in the next one.